Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a bold statement. Your future is hidden in your daily routine. If you're not satisfied with your life right now, if your bank account isn't where you want it to be, if your relationships aren't thriving, if your purpose feels blurry, it's not because you're incapable. It's because you're mismanaging your time. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to use just one of them differently. 1 hour a day can change your life. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about any hour. I'm talking about a deliberate, focused, non-negotiable hour, dedicated to personal growth, skill development, or building the future you desire. Sure. Here are 6 keynotes from the speech. Your future is hidden in your daily routine. 1 focused hour a day creates massive long-term change. Consistency beats intensity. You don't get what you want. You get what you become. Discipline in 1 hour outweighs distraction in 10. Sow daily to reap destiny. Your future is hidden in your daily routine. That may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful truths you'll ever encounter. People often think that their future depends on some big opportunity, some major event, some lucky break that will suddenly change everything. But the truth is, transformation doesn't come in grand moments. It comes in quiet, consistent, often unnoticed actions, repeated daily. Think about it. Everything that exists in your life right now is the result of patterns. Patterns of thought, patterns of speech, patterns of action, and all of those patterns make up your routine. Your routine is the manifestation of your habits, and your habits are the builders of your destiny. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems, and your system is found in how you live every day, not once in a while, not when you feel like it, but consistently. If you wake up every day and hit the snooze button 5 times, that's a routine. If you scroll through your phone for 30 minutes before you get out of bed, that's a routine. If you eat on autopilot, live reactively, and do nothing to move forward, guess what? That's also a routine, and over time, routines compound. You don't see it right away, but your routine is like compound interest. Small decisions either multiply your results or your regrets. The amazing thing is this: routines don't care who you are. Routines don't care if you're rich or broke, educated or uneducated, confident or insecure. They simply magnify what you put into them. If your routine is rooted in growth, learning, action, and discipline, it will multiply your progress. But if your routine is built around distraction, avoidance, or passive living, it will multiply your problems. The results are always coming. They're just determined by what you do daily. Some people think they don't have a routine, but that's not true. Everyone has a routine, whether they realize it or not. The question is not whether you have a routine. The question is whether your routine is taking you where you want to go. If your daily actions are not aligned with your desired future, you're on the wrong path, no matter how good your intentions are. You can't wish your way to a better life. You can't just visualize success and expect it to show up. You have to align your daily behavior with your long-term vision. If you want financial freedom, what are you doing every day to learn about wealth, money, and opportunity? If you want a strong body, how are you investing in your health every day? If you want powerful relationships, how are you showing up consistently with love, patience, and connection? The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't a mystery. It's in your routine. Here's the reality: excellence is never accidental. High performers don't leave their days to chance. They design their routines to support their goals. They don't wake up wondering what to do. They've already decided. Their morning routine sets the tone. Their mid-day actions follow a rhythm. Their evenings are intentional. It's not about being perfect, it's about being purposeful. When you build the right routine, you build momentum. And momentum is powerful because it makes hard things easier. What felt like a sacrifice in the beginning becomes second nature. You stop debating with yourself every day about whether you should do what needs to be done. You just do it because it's part of who you are. That's when things start to shift. That's when the results start showing up. Not because of a lucky break, but because you built your life on purpose. Most people are not suffering from a lack of talent or intelligence. They're suffering from a poor routine. They want change, but they haven't created the daily structure to support it. They keep falling into the same patterns and expecting different outcomes, but nothing changes until your routine does. Your daily choices create the framework for your success or failure. You cannot expect to live an extraordinary life when your routine is ordinary. You cannot build a masterpiece with broken tools. Your routine is your toolset. And you sharpen it or dull it by how you use your time. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to start making different choices repeatedly until the new becomes normal. Because when your routine starts to shift, your identity shifts. And when your identity shifts, your future gets rewritten. One focused hour a day creates massive long-term change. It may not seem like much in the moment, just 60 minutes, but over time, that focused hour compounds into results that most people only dream about. The problem is that we live in a world obsessed with intensity and instant gratification. People want results now. They want success overnight. But real transformation isn't born from rare moments of massive effort. It's born from small, consistent investments that build momentum, skill, and clarity over time. One focused hour is not just about time. It's about intention, It's about eliminating distractions, silencing the noise, and pouring your energy into something that actually moves the needle in your life. Whether that's learning a new skill, reading and studying, practicing a craft, building a business, writing, training, or working on your mindset, that single hour becomes a sacred space where you build the future while others waste time. Most people don't realize what they can create with just 1 hour. They underestimate the power of consistency. They believe they need 10 hours a day, or complete freedom from their job, or some magical perfect moment to start. But here's the truth. It's not about how much time you have. It's about what you do with the time you've got. You can transform your body with 1 hour of exercise a day. You can master a language, build a profitable online brand, deepen your spiritual life, or write a book, 1 hour at a time. The key is that the hour must be intentional, uninterrupted, and aligned with a specific outcome. If you give that hour the attention it deserves, it becomes a seed. And like any seed, it takes time to grow. But once it does, it bears fruit you can't ignore. Most people abandon the process too early. They work hard for a few days, don't see instant results, and give up. They forget that change doesn't come from the first few hours. It comes from what you do with those hours over months and years. Your life doesn't change by chance, it changes by commitment. 1 focused hour a day for 365 days is 365 hours. That's equivalent to 9 40-hour work weeks. Imagine what you could do with 9 weeks fully devoted to your personal growth or your business. Now imagine spreading that effort throughout the year so it fits your lifestyle and builds gradually without overwhelm. That's the genius of the 1 hour principle. It's sustainable, it's powerful, and most of all, it's within your control. This isn't just about time management, it's about identity. Every time you commit to that focused hour, you're sending a message to yourself. I'm a person who invests in my future. That repetition builds confidence, belief, and self-respect. expect. You start to see yourself differently, not as someone who's always starting over, but as someone who follows through. Discipline in a focused hour rewires your habits. It teaches you how to show up even when you don't feel like it. It builds resilience because you're not depending on motivation. You're depending on a decision you already made, and every day you show up reinforces that decision. It becomes easier to focus, easier to say no to distractions, easier to get into a rhythm. The first few weeks might be tough, but stay with it long enough, and that hour becomes the best part of your day. It becomes the hour that reminds you who you really are and what you're capable of. The world is filled with people who are busy all day but not moving forward. They mistake motion for progress. They answer emails, attend meetings, scroll through content, and call it productivity. But focused time is different. Focused time has direction. It creates something. It's intentional, purposeful, and strategic. That's what separates high achievers from everyone else. They understand the power of focusing deeply on what matters most, consistently, even in small windows of time. You don't need to change your whole life in a week. You just need to carve out 1 hour a day and guard it like your life depends on it, because in a very real way, it does. Consistency beats intensity. It's a principle that defies the excitement of short-term hustle and replaces it with the quiet power of long-term commitment. In a world obsessed with going all in, pulling all-nighters and making dramatic declarations, we forget that the people who win in life, in business, in health, and in relationships are not always the loudest or the fastest. They're the most consistent. Intensity is sexy. It feels powerful in the moment. It's exciting to decide you're going to make a massive change, to promise yourself that starting tomorrow, everything will be different. But the problem with intensity is that it's emotional. It burns hot and fast, but it doesn't last. It fizzles the moment motivation fades, and motivation always fades. Real growth doesn't depend on how fired up you are today. It depends on what you do when the excitement wears off. Consistency is different. It's not emotional, it's intentional. It doesn't need fanfare or applause. It doesn't rely on inspiration. Consistency is quiet. It's unglamorous. It's doing the work when no one's watching. It's keeping a promise to yourself, not once, but over and over again until it becomes second nature. It's the repetition of small things done well, day after day, that compound into extraordinary results over time. Think about a fitness goal. Someone who works out intensely for 5 hours once a month won't see any change. But someone who works out for 30 minutes 5 times a week, every week for 6 months, will transform their body. The difference isn't effort, it's repetition. It's the same with building a business. You can't post content and randomly or make sales calls when you feel like it and expect to succeed. You need daily action, even if it's small, done consistently over time. Consistency also builds trust with yourself and with others. When you show up consistently, people start to believe in you. They know what to expect. More importantly, you begin to believe in you. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the idea that you're someone who does what they say they will do. That internal trust is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the fuel that keeps you moving when progress feels slow. But here's the challenge. Consistency is boring. It doesn't give you the immediate payoff that intensity does. You might not see results after a week. You might not get the recognition you hoped for. You might question whether it's even working. But that's exactly when most people give up, right before the breakthrough. Consistency requires faith. Faith that if you keep showing up, the results will come. And they always do, just not always on your timeline. The truth is, intensity makes promises that consistency fulfills. Anyone can get hyped for a day. Anyone can start a new routine, buy a new journal, download a new app, or declare a new goal. But few people have the discipline to keep going when it stops being exciting. That's where the separation happens. The ones who win are not the ones who sprint the hardest out of the gate. They're the ones who refuse to stop. There's a reason compound interest is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It rewards consistency. And it works the same way with your habits, your discipline, your mindset, and your growth. A little bit done often beats a lot done occasionally. If you want mastery, if you want real transformation, stop chasing extreme bursts of effort. Start building a rhythm. What matters is what you do daily not occasionally. What matters is what you repeat. Because what you repeat becomes who you are. Intensity changes your day. Consistency changes your life. You don't get what you want. You get what you become. That one truth cuts through every excuse, every wish, every complaint about life not being fair or opportunities not showing up. Because the reality is, the life you experience right now is a reflection of the person you've become through your choices, habits, and mindset. Your results don't respond to your intentions. They respond to your identity. Everyone wants something. People want more money, better relationships, better health, more impact, more peace. But desire alone has no power. Wanting something doesn't bring it into your life. Wishing for change without changing who you are is like planting a seed and refusing to water it. The seed has potential, but it won't grow without action. And that action must come from alignment between what you want and who you are becoming in the process. The problem is, most people chase results without becoming the kind of person who can sustain them. They want the lifestyle of someone who's disciplined, but they refuse to develop discipline. They want the confidence of someone who's succeeded, but they avoid the process that builds that confidence, facing fear, failing forward, and showing up consistently. They want success without transformation, and it doesn't work that way. You don't attract success. You attract the results that match your current level of thinking, behavior, and standards. If you want to change your life, you have to change your identity. Not who you are in theory, but who you are in action. That means upgrading your habits, raising your standards, and shifting how you see yourself. Because every action you take flows from the identity you've accepted as normal. If you see yourself as someone who always procrastinates, you'll act like it. If you see yourself as someone who's bad with money, your behavior will mirror that belief. If you see yourself as someone who never follows through, you'll prove it true. But the moment you begin to shift your identity, when you start declaring, "I'm a person who finishes what I start," or "I'm someone who takes care of my body," or "I'm a disciplined entrepreneur," your behavior begins to catch up to that new self-image. And over time, your results begin to match the new version of you. That's why working on your mindset is not optional. It's essential. Because if you keep thinking like the old version of you, you'll keep making decisions that reflect your past, not your potential. Wanting something more doesn't make it happen. You must become more. You must become the kind of person who earns it, attracts it, holds it, and multiplies it. People often say, "I'll change when I have the money," or "I'll be confident once I succeed," or "I'll be disciplined when life calms down," but they've got it backward. You don't wait to become. You become and then your life catches up. You don't wait for external change. You make internal change and the external follows. This principle applies to every area of life. If you want deeper relationships, you must become more present, more empathetic, more vulnerable. If you want financial freedom, you must become financially literate, disciplined, and valuable to the marketplace. If you want spiritual peace, you must become someone who seeks truth, practices gratitude, and lives in alignment. Wanting is passive, becoming is active, and transformation only responds to action. You can study all the strategies in the world. You can listen to the best podcasts, attend the best seminars, read the best books. But none of it matters if you don't do the internal work to become the kind of person who lives out those principles. That's why growth is never just about information. It's about identity shift **. This isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about becoming everything you were designed to be. It's about realizing that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with luck, talent, or perfect timing. It's filled with the decisions you make daily. You don't get the future you hope for. You get the future you're willing to grow into **. Discipline in 1 hour outweighs distraction in 10. In a time where attention is constantly under attack, by social media, notifications, endless entertainment, and meaningless urgency, this truth has never been more critical. The quality of your results is not determined by how many hours you're awake, how much you hustle, or how many things you can juggle. It's determined by how **focused* you can be in the time you control. Most people think the key to success is working more hours, more hustle, more tasks. But if those hours are filled with half-effort, multitasking, and mental noise, they produce very little. On the other hand, one disciplined hour, fully focused, free of distraction, intentionally directed toward a clear outcome, can yield more progress than an entire day of scattered attention. Distraction is sneaky. It disguises itself as productivity. You answer emails, check messages, scroll through articles, watch tutorials, take calls. It feels like you're doing something, but you're not moving forward. You're just busy. Discipline, however, is laser-focused. It cuts through the clutter. It says no to everything that doesn't matter and yes to the one thing that does. Discipline doesn't rely on how you feel. It relies on a decision made in advance. That 1 hour of discipline becomes powerful not because of how long it is, but because of how pure it is. It's free from interruption. It's intentional. It's strategic. It's structured for results, not activity. If you spend that 1 hour studying a skill, making sales calls, developing your business, writing your content, or learning something that grows your value, you create leverage. You build momentum. You separate yourself from the masses who spend their days reacting instead of creating. 10 hours of distraction may leave you mentally drained, but with little to show for it. You might feel exhausted, but exhaustion is not accomplishment. The brain can only do deep work for a limited time each day, and when you give that time to shallow distractions, you waste your most valuable mental energy. That's why people who learn how to be ruthless with distractions, even for a single hour, begin to unlock exponential growth. Discipline is not about punishment. It's not about rigidity. It's about freedom. When you train yourself to focus, you take back control of your life. You're no longer pulled in every direction by algorithms, alerts, and opinions. You become someone who decides what gets your attention. And attention is the gateway to progress, creativity, clarity, and power. The difference between someone who creates results and someone who just stays busy isn't intelligence or talent, it's discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. Especially then, 1 hour of focused execution beats 10 hours of wandering thought. If you're building a dream, you don't need to wait until you have a full free day or the perfect schedule. You need to protect 1 solid hour and treat it like it matters. That hour, if guarded and used with purpose, will do more for your future than a full day given to things that drain your focus and dilute your energy. What you do in that 1 hour becomes a reflection of who you're becoming. Each day you choose discipline, you reinforce your identity as a focused, intentional, powerful person. And once you build that identity, you stop negotiating with distraction. You stop wasting mental energy deciding what to do. You just do it. The world doesn't reward motion, it rewards value, and value comes from depth, not breadth, from focus, not frenzy. 1 hour of deep, intentional work in the right direction beats a distracted grind every time.